Hi, have you guys seen that meme where there's basically is a man and he says, "If men didn't exist, who would protect you?" And the woman responds and says, "Protect me from who?" So today we would love to explore women's safety and threats and fears, as well as women's agency. Hi, my name is Priscilla,
Samantha.
Amanda.
and we are Calmly Aligned. So, ladies, when you hear self preservation, things like women's agency and women's safety, what comes to mind?
The thing that comes to my mind is situational awareness, being alert at all times. I don't know if men have the same lived experience that we do, where no matter where you are, you always have to be aware of your surroundings as a woman. If you travel alone, you have to take extra precaution to make sure you're safe. Where are you staying? You have to make sure you know where you're staying. You have to have certain landmarks in your mind.
Like you're mapping an escape route.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in a place and you're mapping out if I was in danger, where would
Where
I?
would I go? How would I be able to protect myself if I was trying to be taken away?
And how would I?
Is there a time of night or day that you should not be out and about by yourself? It's really tough. I don't know. I don't say tough because it's also a beautiful thing being a woman, but you have to take extra precaution, be alert at all times. And then I think it's important, as we're raising young girls, to enroll them in self-defense classes like boxing. I know now they teach taekwondo and all that, but what are we doing to also instill in our young girls that they need to be very cautious when they're out and about in the world? Because we'll not always be there to make sure they're safe. They should be able to preserve themselves.
Wow, that's a lot. Amanda, what comes to mind? Thank you, Sama. My God. I said that's a lot. Maybe let me go back to that because it shows you when it comes to safety how fast a woman's mind runs. I don't know if it's the same for men. Maybe if we had a male, they would tell us, but it's interesting to me. Back to Amanda.
Self-preservation to me, I concur with the meme. Usually it is against or from men. I remember when I was younger, when I had gone to when I was finally I was going to I was going to visit my dad for the first time that I remember. He lived in Rwanda at the time. His family lived in Rwanda and he lived in Muyenga. So I was leaving my mom for the first time and she gave me this set of rules. She was like, Amanda, you're going, because of course she couldn't stop me from going to my dad's. She was like, you're going, I don't know where you're going. There's probably men there. I know your dad, they used to live, there used to be a bunch of guys living together. But now that you're going, be aware. If any man calls you into a room, an uncle, an auntie, an uncle, a cousin, don't go alone. Go with someone. If anyone laughs and touches you, the areas, run, tell someone. So I was prepared, and that I was 7.
Wow.
That time I was 7, so I've always been alert with such scenarios because I now knew place like how to keep my distance from gentlemen. I think I'm not very open with gentlemen because of that. More is a lot. And then I had stories of a neighbor that left her daughter, is it her niece, with a boy helper. So, and then he took advantage of the girl. So all those stories instill fear, and you have to be alert. Every time you leave like little girls with men, you have to teach them how far is too far, not to be too comfortable, always to be alert. So that's where self-preservation started for me as a young girl.
God. Can you just imagine what it must have felt like for your mom?
The
Having
fear.
to tell her 7-year-old and explain a danger that she couldn't quite break down totally, but she needed you to.
In the language suitable for a
For
7-year-old
you,
girl.
it must have. It's you're empowering your child, but it's also a very heavy conversation to have. Wow. So I just want to read something here for you guys. Female agency. Female agency refers to the capacity of women to act independently, make choices, and exert control over their own lives, particularly in social, political, and cultural contexts. Then self-preservation, the act of protecting your own well-being, health, and energy. I don't know that many years ago they were thinking about energy, but now it's something that they include.
Mental health. Mental health is so key.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you talk about mental health, my experience has been that you should protect your mental health at all times. Sometimes you think that because you're with family or friends,
You're safe.
you're in a safe space. I had an experience where I was out with my cousins and a friend and family friends, and then one of them asked me, "Oh, where do you work now? What do you do?" So I told them that I was a PA at one of the places I worked. And her reaction was so strong. She was like, "Oh, you mean you're still a PA? You're a PA?" And it felt like such a put down, belittling. I had to leave. I just got up and left. I felt so belittled.
It's basically something that will show you that your mental
Go where you're celebrated.
your
Yeah.
mental state is just as important as your physical well-being.
Yeah.
Your mental well-being is just as important because we were raised, and somehow all of us, it was instilled in us to be aware of our surroundings, to be wary of men, whether
Yeah.
we knew them or not.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you're within a family space, you don't imagine that you're going to feel
To have your guard up still.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be in defensive mode.
Yes. And yet it's something that's very real. And I'm sure it's not just, I personally have had experiences where I have felt not attacked, but I've felt belittled, I've felt unfairly judged in a
Yeah.
family space. And you don't imagine how far reaching these things can be or how much they'll affect you. Yeah. So mental well-being, I guess, right now is right up there with physical.
Yeah.
Because the mental affects the physical.
Yeah.
And the physical can affect the mental. They
Yeah.
feed into each other. So self-preservation, we've talked about teaching, for example, our daughters, coming here to talk about it, to share with other people. There are things that as a woman, there are some things that, like you've said, you've been told, and then there are some instinctual things that you pick up growing up. And intuition for me has been such a big thing. Intuition in just meeting someone and feeling there's something I can't.
An energy.
Yes. And you know immediately that you have to be on guard with this person. And I think maybe that comes with time.
Yeah.
I've heard that little children have it, very little children have it. Then I guess at some point it falls away and children become a bit trusting, and then later on it comes back in. But where I'm trying to lead to is you have a 5-year-old, 7, maybe 8-year-old, and you want to speak to them about
Body safety.
yes. I started having this conversation with my kids when my oldest was 6, I think. We started to talk about body autonomy. You're in charge of your body. No one can come and tell you what they can do with your body. No one should touch you without permission. And as we were doing that, and as I was doing my research, of course, I got to find out. I looked into numbers. This was years ago, so the numbers I'm sure have changed. But when you go online, the numbers that you will find are quite disturbing. For example, the most common predators for a child in a home setting are usually people that your child will know. The highest prevalence is usually people that your child already knows. The percentage of people perpetrators who are not known is so small in comparison. So what you said about feeling like you're within a safe space within family and friends.
And it's because we all grew up in families that are in homes that are open to everyone.
Yeah.
We had cousins coming in, uncles coming in. I actually need to shout out to my uncles because I will say I was blessed and privileged. I did not experience any of that. They were respectful of my parents that invited them into the home. Even in the village, we were a bunch of people living together. We never encountered any of that. And
Did
I
your
think that's a
uncles like
blessing because when I
instill
watch...
anything that watch out for this and this? Were they just overly
No, we never talked
protective?
about it. I don't think we were that open with uncles, but just the fact that they lived in the house with us. Because I watched a lot of TV, and you find that most of the celebrities always talk about being abused
Yes.
back in that day. It's like a thing. So
It's actually very common.
yeah, so
Yeah.
for us to have been in families that hosted that many people, it's now that I'm older.
That you realize what a blessing.
No, it's now that I'm older that you find like estranged cousins or people that don't know you that would try. They're not even forceful about it, but that would try to proposition you. But when we're young, we were naive and free.
And it's so interesting that as a woman, having your guard up never stops. Even when you're an adult in the workplace, when you go out, you still have to be very aware of your surroundings. It never stops.
And you pick up on those little things, the most subtle. For me personally, one of the things that I heard about that had never even crossed my radar was the date rape drug. And I first heard about it, I think I was in P7. My mom used to have the Oprah Winfrey show on after school. And there was an episode where they did the whole thing. And I remember just having moments of just listening in, and I was in shock that someone can actually target someone who they have either met in a bar or they have taken on a date. And back then, as a child, I didn't get it. Over the years, I've gotten to see and hear about such things. So as a woman moving out in public spaces, when you hear of date rape drug being something that some people actually have on them, what are the things that you have to do? For me, maybe I love, when we're at uni, my friends and I loved moving in a group.
Yeah.
Because we used to say this thing where I would say, we're each other's eyes and ears.
Yes.
The way we've gone is the way we have to come back. No one is breaking off to go anywhere. The way we've gone. And the minute we felt like anyone was breaking that rule, then we're not going to manage you. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have experiences to share.
For me, I would say that the precautions that I've taken is always informing somebody of where I am at all times. If I'm going to a certain location with person X, I will make sure at least Amanda knows or any of my other cousins or sister is aware of where I am, or my mom. Yeah, so making sure that there's somebody at least who's aware of where you are. at all times is important. Yeah.
I've also seen my sister like in the bar, in the club setting. She always has like she always stacks up like tumblers because she wants us to be distinct and different. But sometimes you put like many glasses there and you may take the wrong one.
Yes.
Or they spy, and you always move with your glass, of course, everywhere, bathroom and all. Actually, now that you talk about self-preservation, just remembered how there's this entitlement, sorry, to the men, of men in like public spaces. There's this time I was with my friend. She was with her husband. It was the three of us. And this gentleman insisted I don't know, he wanted to dance with me. And if you know me, I don't dance in public. Anyway, he forced himself, he tried to dance with me by force. And then when I was like, he was like, why did you come? And
So you came to be public
I was
property for
I
everyone
was
to
so
just pick
puzzled.
up and
I
dance
did not
with?
know him. He did not pay my buy my outfit or even pay for my entrance. I was so confused.
But I think we've all seen this in life. We've all seen those
The
people who will come
entitlement.
The
and either grab
entitlement.
you from behind.
Yeah.
Or just
as a
come
woman, I
and-
think every woman has experienced
Everyone-
that.
Yeah.
But
in
you're not
some
grabbing me
form.
from behind. Maybe it's mistaken identity. But if you ask me to dance and I tell you no, as a stranger, politely, I don't understand which balls.
What are you
What
smoking?
gives you
because
What are you
the
smoking?
because
confidence?
there are people who actually believe that thing that a woman's no is a yes. They are
Yeah.
actual humans
Yeah.
who are walking on this earth today in this time in the 21st century, who actually believe that
The gentleman
that you
there
don't
was
know
even
what
confused.
you want,
My friend's
and
husband.
he has to convince you forcefully.
And a woman, she can. There's no woman who can say yes on the first try. So you have to
Exactly.
keep trying,
Yes.
even if it's forcefully. I'm like,
I was so amused because my friend's husband was also confused. He was like,
What is this?
so
Why
they
did
have
you come?
the confidence.
So you came to be danced with by
mad,
everyone who
by
wanted.
force.
It is someone's son, you people.
so
Someone's
that
father and husband. I'm
that
sure.
brings me
And
to
brother.
the point. While we are thinking about the women and the young girls that we're raising, what about the boys that we're raising? What are we teaching them about consent? When we talk to the boy child, because even children face abuse these days.
Oh, yes, they do.
So how are we protecting them as well?
The conversations have to be had. Body autonomy, name the parts, the biological names.
Yeah.
Not susu, not pipi, not wee-wee, not
But
a vagina,
I don't.
a penis, a breast.
I hear those things and I don't see the correlation. I was brought up by a grandmother, and if you know grandmothers, they're always like. I used to call the lady parts different names, wrong name in Rutoro. I made up my own name and they let me go with it. But I don't see how that.
The reason
I don't
it's
see the
important
correlation with that.
is because part of grooming, first and foremost, remember we mentioned
Because I knew what it was.
Remember, we mentioned that usually it's people that are known within a home or within a family. So already that person has a relationship with a child. So they're going to use the names that they're hearing around the home maybe. And it's going to start the grooming process for them. There's a way in which someone who is speaking your language will relate to you easier than someone who's going to use a different word.
Yes.
Okay, there's a way in which someone who is going to mention to have a nickname for this part is going to confuse you and say, "Oh, but you gave me permission to touch."
I don't
So,
think so though. Because me, I
clarity.
was always
No,
told.
I actually know for
I
a
was
fact
always
that it's important to name the
To name the
parts
parts.
because of that. Because
First
there've
of
been
all, you take away
cases-
the shame
yes
of coming out and saying, "Oh, this person touched my vagina."
yes
There's shame associated with the actual biological name. And
It's
yet
not
in
to be
comparison,
said.
if you're like, "Oh, your susu, it's a more flowery language that's acceptable." But if you name it the biological name, you take away the power from the perpetrator.
I feel like that's an adult thing. As a kid, my mom told me if they touch, report. She didn't have to mention because I knew where not to touch.
I think with children it's very easy to confuse. It's very easy to confuse a child. It's very easy to get a child to trust you and to be comfortable
Because
with
I feel
you.
like in like generally
But
in
also,
like also like
what
character,
Samantha,
like temperament. There's always a shy girl, whether she knows the part. There's always a timid girl, whether she knows the part. And there's a bold one
in
who also
Uganda,
nicknames the part.
those parts, I think some people have called them ibitunde by'ekyama. The parts that are not to be mentioned.
That's private parts.
So
The same as
now,
English.
so now, if it's private, what is the mentality? What are you instilling in the
It's
brain
for
of the
you.
child?
Private
It's-
for you.
But also not to be mentioned. So if a child would have come to you to tell you so and so touched my, are you seeing how it can easily be something that a person can enjoy for a while without the child being too shy to come and say, oh, so and so touched me.
I don't see it, but okay.
I think it's based on research as well, isn't it?
No, it's based on research and research done by people who have been, what's the word? The people who work with children who have been abused.
Yeah.
They go to
Psychologists.
find that, yes, they go to find that that's a factor and a very big factor. And so they started to say, look, name the parts, remove the shame, remove the confusion around those body parts. Yeah. So another thing, of course, is consent. Consent is so, when I started to read about these things, I realized that, my God, we are on a daily basis, all of us in so many ways, breaching a lot. Things like how you tell your child, oh, auntie who so and so has come, go and greet. Hey, you haven't hugged. I found myself doing that. Oh, you haven't hugged your uncle. Why aren't you
go and
hugging
sit
your
on
uncle?
Auntie So's lap.
Auntie So
Sit
is
on
calling you to
uncle's
sit on
lap.
her lap. You go and sit. Or even when your own child is playing with you and they're telling you, Mommy, stop, or stop tickling me, and you continue. All those are little ways that you're training the
Signals.
mind.
To give up control. To let
Yes, that the control is not theirs. The kissing thing is for my children.
Yeah.
I would, when I find a baby cute, I will hold the baby, I'll touch the cheeks, but I really do not want to be kissing on another person's
Why
child.
would you kiss another person's
Because I feel like I'm crossing a line.
That is
but
a
then again, there are
boundary.
people who do that. Someone will see your child, oh, so cute, and immediately go into kissing,
That's
carrying,
so
pinching.
unacceptable.
You know what? I used not to know. I used not to care until I got a little brother. And I used to see, because he was so cute, and I also knew he was cute, people would just come and just kiss him. So I taught him. I said, when someone says bizu, do this. And literally, he learnt it. I'd be like, bizu? I was a good boy. I don't know how, of course, I'm sure the sisters also were like,
Yeah.
But at least I taught him that. I was like, if anyone comes and says bizu, stand the cheek. Because where are they pecking your lip
On the
anyway?
lips. And there's those little things, by the way, that you get to realize in moments where you're left, they jar you and they shake you and you say, this is something we have to discuss. So even for me, I got to a point where I had to have that talk with my children and say, Mommy kisses you, Daddy kisses you. Maybe your sibling will kiss you, but on the cheek. Like,
Yeah.
So
I think another thing about self-preservation, now that you talk about it, like energy, I'm learning when mothers, mothers sometimes are too uptight, too what. When a mother tells you, do this, don't do this, I'm like,
they've
you know
picked up
what?
on something.
It's okay. Let me just indulge. Because sometimes you want to tell people, you want to always, I don't want to say belittle, but you like, you're overreacting. Like, it's not that big a deal. But sometimes you just, for their peace of mind, perhaps we should also just comply with people's rules. When you're when you're in their space, act the way they ask you to act. Just out of courtesy.
It ties in. Self-preservation,
So that's
boundaries,
our part to play. When someone,
people's energy,
Yeah.
people's. I had to have a talk with my kids about personal space because you people, I was in the workplace and it was stuck that people did not understand personal space.
How does an adult not understand personal space?
You're sitting and someone comes and leans over you and is close and breathing on you. And even when they sense, because how you will pick up that someone is uncomfortable. There are people who don't know how to read those signals. So from a young age, let's start to teach. Especially now, like there's a time someone had told my son and the cousin that a woman's Banange, that time I had that talk with those
unteach.
children that a woman's no is a yes. You can't imagine these boys at 4 years old. Someone has already started to do something to these children.
Indoctrinating them.
Yes. And I had those constant talks until I stopped hearing that thing. I said, a no is a no, N-O.
Yeah.
It's not a hard word to say.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
no is a
difficult.
full sentence.
It cannot be. It's a full sentence.
Yeah.
It cannot be misunderstood. Even in a different language, someone doing this, someone pushing you away, someone showing displeasure, discomfort is a signal you have to read into, because it starts at that age.
Yeah.
Before you know it, this is a grown man who says, why did you come here? Because they feel entitled to
Can you imagine to someone else's personal space?
It's so disturbing, you people. But we've talked about the date rape, drug, and then veered way off, but still within the same confines of self-preservation and safety. What are the other things that as a girl you would look out for, or you would want to tell your little sister, or you would want to tell another woman that, hey, such and such a thing, be careful?
I feel like when you watch a lot of Western movies or shows or whatever, they always say dress how you feel, you know? And I guess you're allowed to dress how you feel. But I feel like we're in a society where you need to pay attention, read the room. If they tell you this place is unsafe, it's unsafe. Don't
You're
wear a
not
short
going to
skirt
try
to
to
town.
assert yourself in an
Don't impose. And then tomorrow when you're abused, you're confused.
Yes.
I don't know why I take
issue.
I take issue to that statement, and I've had it over and over again, and it's usually from fellow women talking about, she was dressed in a certain way, she was dressed
called attention to
provocatively.
herself.
Yes.
I don't
No,
know.
it's not
I
about
think-
the
I
woman.
think
Even if
it's,
I'm dressed in the skimpiest outfit, it does not give you the green light to approach me in the wrong way.
No, that's
No,
that's in a utopian world.
Amanda is talking
Sama.
about
what
a
I'm talking
world
about is like
where
you there's a dark alley.
we have,
And they tell you past this time don't go to that alley, and then you're like, but it's a free world.
Not even a
Why
dark
shouldn't
alley.
I?
You people, let me tell you
Read the room.
something. Not even a dark alley. In broad daylight, walking by a border stage,
No,
and you're dressed a
Priscilla,
certain way.
even if I'm dressed in
No.
in
if
a belt
it is not right.
with no top,
It is not right.
it
We're
does not
saying-
give you the right
not
to
No,
my
saying
Sam,
body.
we're not saying about
We're not
consent.
saying it's right.
It's not right, but if it happens, what are you going to say? You're still going to
No, you
fight
still
for
look
your
at the
rights?
perpetrator. It's not
Yes,
the victim's
but
fault.
No, it's know your society and know what's expected of you.
You know, in the South African culture, is it the Kosa who go bare-breasted?
Even the
Is it the Zulu
Switzerland,
or
what's
Swaziland?
Swaziland, sorry. Yeah.
Is it still called Swaziland?
Yes, it is.
Swaziland.
Eswatini, I
Yeah,
think.
Swatini, yeah. Eswatini, yeah.
Anyway, even if you're bare-breasted, it is not an invitation to treat.
No, but that's the culture. Everyone is bare-breasted.
Yeah, so you can't say, because she was bare-breasted or I raped
I'll
her.
give you an example, Sama. You will not see a woman from that region walking bare-breasted in Kampala.
Because
But
they
that
read
is
the
still her
room.
culture. That is
Yeah.
still her culture. She's free to dress like that. But you need to learn where you are. Read the room.
Read
That is
yourself-
part of
that
it's
is
part of
what
self-preservation.
you are talking about, looking at the exit routes.
Yeah.
If you know this place is unsafe,
Okay, my point is, while we are teaching the girls all these things of self-preservation, be aware of your environment, etc., etc., we also need to teach the boys that you should be able to have self-control.
Absolutely.
Yes.
yeah.
And they should also know their own situational and awareness, and also know their own safety.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day,
And
we are all at risk.
be respectful of
Just
people's
that
boundaries.
one sex might be physically stronger than the other.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
exactly.
respect boundaries in all forms, whether it's energy boundaries, whether it is
Yeah.
Another thing is mental strength.
Mm.
Mental strength. I think it's something that we all have to. I don't know. I think I need to define it, and yet I don't know how I can define it in a way that's. You need to be able to train your mind. Now, like that thing you mentioned of you walk into a room and you're able to look. What are the red flags you're looking for in a place? Things like how when we were teenagers and you walk into a party, what are the things that you're going to see that immediately you're going to know? I need to be careful here, or I need to avoid so and so, or I need to be. So for me, another thing that I've always thought about is in line with the Rohypnol, it is when you're out and you're enjoying yourself, how much are you going to allow yourself to drink and let loose in a space where it's a public space?
Yeah.
And alcohol is a mind-altering substance. These days, there are all kind of party drugs. You know, talking to children and and even just being aware as young girls, you want to go out and have a good time. You want to feel, some of us, for example, me, I'm extremely introverted.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons that I used to drink was to just be freer
loose.
and more fun and let loose. How much are you going to let loose? Know your limits. All of that is part of mental strength. Know yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What can you deal with? What can you not deal with? How close can someone come to you before? How are you going to know how to handle yourself in a space where you need to stand up for yourself verbally or even physically, like you said? So that practiced analysis and thinking things through, playing situations out and making decisions because when you're in danger, you have to act fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all that is practiced, and all those are things that as women we need to be aware of. Another thing that I wanted us to talk
People
about.
pleasing.
Yeah, because I was going to say self-preservation and selfishness. Some people don't know how to differentiate the two.
Yeah.
But now let's first put a pin in that one. People pleasing. You can't imagine. Oh my God. As someone who has always wanted to be seen as a nice girl, there are so many times I've failed to stand up for myself. Small things like being at the bank and someone cuts in line in front of you, and you feel like if I speak up, I'll be bad.
Yeah.
Some of us are embarrassed. A guy prepositions you inappropriately and you're embarrassed.
Yeah.
I actually read somewhere that women these days are suffering from a lot of autoimmune diseases because of people pleasing. Wow. Yeah. You carry the load of all the emotional baggage. You can't express how you feel. You're suppressing all the emotions you're feeling just to please other people, to make sure everyone else is comfortable around you. And you're killing yourself in the process. So it's important to preserve you're not only preserving your mental health by standing up for what you think is right for you, you're also preserving your physical health. Yeah.
And in line with people pleasing, there are so many times when someone will do something and set a boundary and they'll be told, wow, you're selfish, and guilt tripped. Wow, you're selfish. How can you be so selfish? And then you're left in a position. I don't know if that has happened to you. So for me, where is the line? How do you differentiate the two? For someone who
feel
is
like-
being told maybe by a spouse, if you're saying, look, I'm trying to give an example that is politically correct.
I feel like in
Maybe
life,
please go as
we have to be very self-reflective and know how much we can take and what we cannot take. Everyone has to draw that line themselves.
So the no, Sama said no is a full sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Practicing, you know.
yeah, because you can, like, some of us are people pleasers, but to an extent. You're not going to please your way to the grave.
I thank God I was cured from that disease. From
Pray tell,
childhood.
one day maybe
from
you'll share
childhood.
how you
Sometimes
were
it's even
cured.
politeness. It's not so much people pleasing, but it ends up
I
manifesting.
confuse that too.
It
Personally, I'll tell you,
manifests
I can
as
own
people
that.
pleasing sometimes.
I can own that.
Yeah.
As a Muganda, politeness and hypocrisy is
No, I hear you.
in our
Even
veins.
I'm the same.
So many times I'll be struggling and saying, am I polite? Am I being polite? If I
The
say,
Baganda going to come for you.
oh, please come for me, I'm a Muganda. Please. We should be able to speak. There is nothing wrong with knowing something about yourself.
Yeah.
Calling yourself out on something.
Yeah.
I like I like how polite we are as Baganda.
Yeah.
I like how how we are
Inclusive.
so considerate. We are empathetic. I think that politeness is meant to be in terms of empathy, of you put yourself in someone else's shoes, how you want to be treated. But also there's a thin line, and sometimes we move into hypocrisy in our bid to be
So my point was being
Yes, please.
self-reflective. You need to know what your limits are and stand by them. Yes, because of course there's always going to be someone trying to push your boundary. But if you know that this is as far as you can go, if they push the boundary, that's it.
If I were to wake up today and tell you I don't have any boundaries, how do I start setting boundaries? How do I
That's
go about
think
it?
about it. What has stolen your peace? Start there.
Yeah. You have
Anytime
to be
you do
selfish.
something and then you think back and you feel bad and you feel
Like you've betrayed your spirit.
like I'll tell
Yeah.
you, there's people you invite into your life and you feel like you have lost virtue. Like you've gone past the boundaries, past your values, and now you judge yourself.
You're betraying yourself.
You've allowed someone lead you on the wrong path, all because you're trying to keep a friendship. Do you really care for them like that? Like, will you die if they don't call you tomorrow? You need to even assess.
I guess that's
who
a
are you people
self-reflection
pleasing?
for you to I guess rather than letting experience be your teacher and
Yeah.
first going and first keep bumping yourself to learn.
Yeah.
Some self-reflection is due for all of us.
Now, for
Yeah.
me in church, I'm learning. Some people lose destinies just because someone asked nicely.
God, that's so deep. Wow.
Because someone asked nicely, you forfeit your destiny. You settle. Someone is persistent. You give them audience and then you settle.
Like the story of Esau and Jacob. Did he prepare a meal? Who prepared a meal for who?
Jacob.
And he stole his inheritance. In the
Oh, when he was
process.
saying, I'm so hungry. If you just give
Yeah.
me this food, I'll give you
Yes.
my position as... Was it that?
That one was desperation. That one had no boundaries. Yes, sir. But yeah, like Abraham, he was told by God, "I will give you a son, you and Sarah," and he still allowed Sarah to lead him astray.
Did he allow, or did Sarah go on her own volition? And,
I mean, his hand had
and
slept with
think,
a
I'm
lady.
too old, I'm not going to.
That's what I'm saying. He allowed her.
Are you
mislead
seeing
him.
how I hadn't even thought about the fact that he actually followed through?
Yeah.
And,
He allowed her mislead him, and
Yeah.
then they had to wait another 10 years and then see all the chaos that brought. Like, you need to know your values and stand by them. And I think that's something you learn with time and with age. Yeah, because some of us, we've learned the hard way. But yeah, you live, you learn.
As you can see, people sitting in this conversation with us, you've seen how wide and deep and how far this thing runs, because it covers so many things. It covers mental, it covers physical, it covers energy. What can we say specifically in terms of physical safety? And physical, I think, kind of wraps the rest up. Because if you're not physically safe, then you're not mentally safe, right? The physical affects the mental. There are certain things that as a woman or as a young girl moving in spaces, public spaces, private spaces, little go-to things that you need to know to be able to feel like you can handle yourself in an unsafe world. I'm just going to go through the points for you. One, Summer mentioned situational awareness. You need to be aware of your surroundings. I'm not going to delve deeper into that. Traveling in numbers. It's safety. There's safety in numbers. There's a reason why that saying is there. It's easy to remember.
You're
There's
sister's
safety.
keeper. You're your sister's keeper.
Yes, yes, exactly. Project confidence, especially now what we talked about moving on these Kampala streets. You're going to have random people trying to grab you. I've always been taught when you move confidently, like you know where you're going and you have no time. There's a
You
way in
move
which
with
people,
purpose.
even the way people will part and make way for you. So move with purpose, move with confidence. Maintain distance. Of course, this comes in with situational. If you notice or you pick up any vibes or anything that's energy that's not right, you're going to
Trust your
maintain your
instincts.
distance. Trust your instincts. They'll never lead you astray. And then secure your environment. take precautions, whether in your home for safety, whether it's your car, whether
Limit
it's
the
at your
people
job.
people that you welcome into your home need to be limited.
Yes.
Either
yes.
time by time.
So honestly, we this is so big, you can't cover all of it.
Yeah.
But this is the little that we can impart to you, to just stay safe and look after yourself and look after your sister. You're your sister's keeper, you're your brother's keeper. And yeah, and pray. And in line with the topic that we just had, I wouldn't feel right without dropping a few facts that I have come to learn, that we have all come to learn about basic safety. The one that I want to share with you is, did you know that if someone has dropped something in your drink to spike your drink, that your drink is going to change appearance? It's going to appear cloudy. So, knowing this, be observant and stay safe.
Did you know that anything you have around you or on you is a weapon? You can use your car keys. For us women who love wearing heels, a heel can be a weapon to protect yourself. Be aware of your surroundings and always guard yourself with whatever you have.
Did you know that when you're attacked, do not allow to be taken to a second location? Fight, scream, draw all the attention you can, and inconvenience the kidnapper.
Above all things, pray for yourself, pray for each other, pray for you, and pray for safety, because at the end of the day also,
Prayer goes where you don't, and God sees what we don't.
chef's kiss, perfectly said. Thank you for joining us. We would love to hear from you. We can't wait to see what you have to, what your thoughts are on this topic. Please don't be shy. Drop your comments in the comment section. Please like, please share if you feel like someone needs to watch this. One day we are going to tackle and delve deeper into body autonomy for children, consent for children, maybe even for adults. Thank you for watching. It's been us from Calmly Aligned. Peace.